All right, we're here with Tiger Army at Warped Tour 2004, and like, tell us something about those tattoos. Anything in particular? You have a story about each one, or?
Probably. I don't know. Tattoos are just something I've been into for a long time. I probably wanted to start getting tattooed around the age of 14 or 15. I waited until I was 18, and most of my tattoos are in the American traditional style of like the 40s and 50s. And
where are you from?
I'm originally from Northern California. I grew up in a small town called Ukiah that's north of the Bay Area. Then I lived in the East Bay for about 6 years. That's where Tiger Army started. And I live in LA now.
What bands or individual artists initially got you interested in rockabilly music in general, or psychobilly? Like, what first piqued your interest in the style?
Well, I mean, for me it was a really gradual thing. I've been listening to punk rock, and I guess a lot of my favorite artists, punk artists from like the 70s and early 80s, I saw this really direct connection between that kind of first wave of punk and 50s rock and roll, and my favorite stuff had, was the stuff that kind of emphasized those connections. So, and I guess I always liked, the 50s rock and roll that I heard as a kid. So, I don't know if it was the Stray Cats or the Sex Pistols covering Eddie Cochran, but I just, kind of started going back deeper into the roots of 50s rockabilly and rock and roll. And by the time, certain psychobilly bands as well, but I didn't know it was like a whole movement. And when I found out that it was kind of like a combination of everything I was already into.
A lot of this, there's a lot of talk about emo and screamo and all this stuff. You guys kind of bring like an older sound. How does that relate to when you're on tour like this with a lot of kids who are into the emo scene, and you kind of come in and bring in that rockabilly, which maybe some of them aren't used to hearing? Does that?
It's kind of weird. I mean, I'd be lying if I said there was anything that I related to or enjoyed, and most of the music that falls under that tag, rightly or wrongly. But I think one of the cool things about the Warped Tour is that you're playing to kids who are, they're just kind of getting into stuff. They're just beginning to explore the music that's out there, whether it's underground music or music from the past, and their minds are really open to a lot of different things. So just because a kid might not look like he'd be in the Tiger Army, or maybe the other bands that he listens to he or she listens to don't necessarily have anything to do with Tiger Army musically, I find there's a real open-mindedness on the part of the audience that kind of leaves them like very receptive to checking out what we do, and that's a cool thing.
Are you still into the newer stuff yourself, or do you kind of just like feel like I don't want to say the more traditional guy? Do you just sit back and let them do their thing, or do you listen to them too?
Well, I don't know that I want to say our music is traditional. I mean, we're definitely drawing on certain elements of the past, but at the same time, we're not trying to recreate anything that already happened. We're trying to take that stuff and twist it into something that's totally new. But I'm always into like hearing good music and good songs, and I'm not going to discriminate based on style. If I hear a good song or something that moves me, but to be honest, I really am not into a lot of new music. There's just, I like songwriting. I like true pop music in the sense of like whether you're talking about like the Beach Boys or the Beatles or something like that. But even so, I just don't hear. I don't hear. There's like something missing from a lot of today's music for me. Yeah.
Good answer.
Torben, I read in your album that you had a tragedy with your drummer. So how has it been kind of picking up and going on? I heard that he's not on this tour, but you found Mike Fasano. He worked as a drum tech. He also worked on the AFI record. So how has that been going since he's been out?
Yeah, we do have a new drummer for the first time in about 3 years on this tour, Mike Fasano. It's been going really well. He's a great guy. He's easy to get along with. And he's a great drummer. It's been going really well musically as well. But at the same time, it is weird not to have Fred around since he was a part of the band for 3 years. So, but the situation with his being shot and everything, we tried really hard to make it work, and ultimately it just didn't work. So, accepting that wasn't really an easy thing, but it was something we all had to do eventually.
Kind of an odd question, but if your house were to catch on fire and you had only time to grab one of your albums before you could escape safely, which album would you grab, or would you just go down with the whole collection?
I'd grab one of my guitars if I had time to grab anything.
What guitar would it be?
Probably my 57 Gretsch Duo Jet. Yeah, I figure I could always find another album somewhere else.
I was curious if playing these large outdoor festival type shows, if you guys in particular have any specific sound problems that other bands might not face due to the hollow body guitars and the upright basses and such. Is there ever any difficulties due to the difference in instruments?
That was something we dealt with in the early days of the band, but the Gretsch that I play now is semi-hollow, and it's fully enclosed, so it doesn't really have feedback problems. I still play a lot of hollow body on the records because there's something in that tone that you can't get otherwise. But live, I find it just cuts through better, and there's a lot less feedback problems with without playing the full hollow body. And Jeff's upright bass is it's really custom, and it's basically it's been built for the kind of music we play with that in mind.
I was actually curious about that bass because one time when I saw you guys in Philly at the Electric Factory, he was just dragging it around the stage and stuff, and I didn't know how it wasn't picking up any thing through the pickups or anything. It was quite impressive. I was expecting noise coming out of it, but
yeah, I mean, there's
really
if you take a 50 stand-up bass and you try to put it in that situation, you probably will get a lot of feedback problems. But there's certain ways you can modify them, and that one was built specifically for this kind of music. So luckily it's rare that we have any problems with that kind of thing. It's cool.
aside from music, you mentioned that you wouldn't know what to do with your time if you weren't in a band and touring and recording. Do you have any, and if so, what are your outside interests at all, hobbies, cars or anything like that,
Yeah, most of my hobbies kind of relate to music anyway. If it's not something that's actually to do with the band, then it's record shopping or playing guitar or looking at guitars or something like that. I guess getting tattooed, reading, watching movies. I don't have a whole lot of free time, and that's, I guess, what I spend most of it.
Do you have a favorite horror movie?
Let's see, some of my favorite horror movies are Psycho, Hitchcock one, not the remake, the original Dracula, Black Cat with Bela Lugosi. Yeah. I have a hard time picking things, so just one thing.
What would you like to see Tiger Army accomplish as a band, and what would you like to see your music do? In the large picture of things, do you think you'll be doing this for a long time? Is it a short-term project, and where do you hope it ends up?
Well, to some extent, we're already accomplishing what I hoped we would. Music is definitely the focus of my life, and
How long have you been playing? Were you in a school band or anything like that?
I was involved in music a little bit as a little kid, school play, chorus, in elementary school. But I tried to start my first band when I was 14. That didn't make it out of my bedroom. But yeah, I've been trying to do it for a long time, and you know, I'm happy to say that I've been able to play music full time, you know, for a living for the last, I guess, about 4 years. And you know, I really couldn't conceive of like what I'd do with my time or do with my life if I didn't have music. So in terms of success, the fact that I can do what I love for a living, that's already enough success for me. At the same time, you know, you always want to push yourself to achieve more. You know, I want more people to hear Tiger Army. I want more people to get turned on to our music and hopefully find something that they enjoy. So it's definitely not like an elitist thing where it's like we're this cool underground thing and it's only for the cool people. It's, you know, it's really for whoever's into it. But really, I hope we can just keep doing what we're doing, keep growing. I feel like every album we've done has been better than the last for me personally, and you know, I hope that's always the case.